Okay, we'll start. So as part of this weekly current affairs, what we try to do is any news that was important but somehow we missed it when we are covering the daily current affairs, so we try to cover that part. Okay, so few news items. For example, this news related to stealth frigates Udaygiri and Himgiri to join Navy. That was one of the news just 2 or 3 days back, that was in news. So what you people need to prepare for such topics is you should have a brief idea about what do we mean by this stealth technology, or what is this frigate, and these specifically Udaygiri, Himgiri, just basic details, or just at least you should know these names, what exactly these are. Okay, so for example, when we talk about something called as frigate, just like any navy of the entire world, any country will have navy, and navy will have different ways to attack the other countries. Now for that they use different kinds of warships. They have ships which we call as warships. Okay, now those warships are of different kinds. One of the largest one is called as aircraft carrier. It's very large. You can imagine like maybe entire Ashok Nagar can easily set in that aircraft carrier, or maybe even larger than that. Aircraft carriers are the biggest warships that any country might have. Okay, this is one category. Smaller than that is this one called cruiser. Again smaller than that is called destroyer. Then smaller one, frigate. Then smaller, corvette. And last is we have something called submarine. It is not smaller, but submarine is something that stays below water. You need to understand all these are above the surface of the water. These are moving just like any other ship. This one is going to remain under the water, submerged under the water. That's why the name is submarine. Okay, most of the countries, they use all of these. It's not like only one or two we have. We use all of these, and every kind of warship has its own purpose. For example, this is something aircraft carrier we will use when we are attacking the enemy. It's a larger one and entire ship is moving. It will have all the things, like it will have some aircrafts in it. It will have so many weapons, something like tanks that we have over here on the land. Similar kind of systems will be there over there. You can keep so many things on this aircraft carrier. Okay, now smaller ones have different purpose. What is the purpose for smaller ones? Let's say your enemy is coming up with aircraft carrier. Okay, or you find out that your enemy is sitting at some particular location, but entire aircraft carrier cannot go there. They will see that there are some smaller ships which can very easily move. Now for this ship to move, that will take some time. Just like your bike can move very easily. It can navigate very easily. So for that you use these smaller kinds of warships. When you want to go easily, these will be smaller in size. They can navigate also very easily, and they can destroy some enemy things. For example, this destroyer, the name is destroyer. Why? Because if there is any enemy location, or if there is any big thing that is coming up, any aircraft carrier is coming, so this destroyer will just move very easily, swiftly go there and attack that aircraft carrier. Okay, that's how every kind of this warship has its own purpose. Okay, so countries will try that. All of this we should have. Now out of that we are specifically talking about this category, that is frigate. Okay, now when you talk about this frigate, we say this is something we are going to use for any kinds of missions. There are different kinds of missions. Sometimes it's a full-scale war. If let's say there is a full-scale war of India with some other country, and there you need navy, so that could be one mission. Sometimes the mission is you are just going and let's say some pirates are there. You need to attack them, or you need to catch them. There you might need it. So it's not a full-scale war. It's a normal mission like just any police authorities are conducting. Similar kind of mission. So any kinds of missions, you can use this particular thing called frigate. Okay. Now sometimes what happens, navy is there, other side's navy is there, but there is an air force coming in, or let's say this navy is also having some aircrafts. So they're sending aircrafts to go and attack this aircraft carrier. So you should have some system with you which can attack even the aircrafts, not just the navy. Making sense? So all these things are present. So for example, anti-submarine, anti-defense, anti-surface warfare. Something at the surface of the water is coming from the other side. You should be in a position to attack this. Okay? Something from the air is coming. You should be able to attack this. And something from the water, let's say the submarine is coming. I said the submarine stays under the water, submerged under the water. So you have your ship and this submarine is coming and attacking from the below. That's possible. So you should be in a position to even attack from here. For all these things, these frigates can be used. Clear? So we have aircraft carrier, destroyer, frigate, corvette, all these things. Okay? Focusing on frigate because the news is about frigate. Stealth frigates, these two. Those are in news. Right? Now, next is, what is this term stealth? So stealth is actually a technology. Now what happens is, most of the times, when your ship is going, other one's ship is coming, we have technologies to detect that there is a ship coming here, over here. Okay, whether it's a ship or submarine or anything, you think about it, whether it's an aircraft also. We have developed many systems through which we can detect if something is coming to us. Even if you try to ensure that nobody watches you, you try to be very manipulative, but still those technologies help in the detection. So for that we have something called radar, sonar, infrared, acoustic. These are the technologies used in that. Radar, what you do is we make use of radio waves. We send radio waves and those radio waves detect that there is something coming over here. Okay, similarly the sound waves also you can use. So those technologies will be very much useful in finding out if some enemy has entered in our area. Right? Now when you are trying to attack your enemy and you know that the enemy has this technology through which they will understand. Let's say you plan that we will attack Pakistan in the night through this waterway. We'll go to Karachi, attack on Karachi port. But they also having some radar, sonar technology. In the night, even if they are not watching, the technology will help them detect your ship. Am I right? Any ship can be detected. So they have this stealth technology. In this, we will have this stealth technology through which what we are doing is, no matter what you have, you can never detect our ship. Stealth technology is about not being able to detect our ship. That's the stealth technology. Okay? So we are saying these two frigates, these Udaygiri and Himgiri, these are those frigates which also have stealth technology inbuilt in them. When they are moving, the other side cannot even understand that we are there. Okay? So very nice technology, we can say. Okay? Now the news is Indian Navy commissioned 2 Nilgiri class stealth frigates, INS Udaygiri and INS Himgiri at Visakhapatnam. So they have commissioned means this has been taken into Navy. They were built, but now Navy is saying now we are inducting it into Navy. Now we will use it, operationalize it. Wherever needed, we'll use it. Okay? We understand frigate, we understand stealth. But there is one term, Nilgiri class stealth frigate. So what is this class? So class is when you are making ships, what you do is you make different designs. If you are making ships of similar design, you call it a class. Let's say we are making mobile phones. Okay? So let's say there is one series of iPhone. More or less the design of iPhones is same. There is some difference also in every model, but more or less the overall design is same. Then we have other series that is different generation, different model, but that design, operations, all are similar. So when you make one particular design, you name it as class and you give it a name also. Let's say for example, there is this Shivalik class, Nilgiri class, Delhi class, Kolkata class. You just given a name to tell that in this class, let's say there will be 10 ships that we are making. All these 10 have similar kind of design. When you go for Nilgiri class, it will be different from the Shivalik class. The design will be different. But in this particular class, if we are making 5 different ships, they will have similar kind of design. Clear? Class clear? Now, we said we have different classes, Shivalik, Nilgiri, Delhi, Kolkata class. In this particular case, these ships, INS Udaygiri and INS Himgiri, they belong to Nilgiri class. Okay. Now this Nilgiri class came into picture with something called Project 17A. It's a project of government. So first of all, they came with this Project 17, wherein they were developing Shivalik class, these frigates. After that, they said, we are coming up with Project 17A. Through that, they said, we will make 7 frigates. Okay, 7 frigates of this Nilgiri class. The name is Nilgiri class. 7 we are making. Okay. Now the idea is, first of all of these 7 which will come from this particular side, they will have this stealth design in them. This is one important feature, that is stealth design is for sure there. Second most important thing is they will have indigenous content. Now you need to understand that what Indian government is trying is to bring indigenization. What is indigenization? What is indigenization term? Indigenization means you're trying to produce things in India. Okay, when you're making a ship, let's say it requires so many parts, so many things are needed. So what you will do is maximum things or maximum components you will bring from India, from Indian producers, Indian businessmen, things you are going to bring from India. That is indigenization. Okay, so India is trying that we should become Atmanirbhar. So even this Project 17A is part of that Atmanirbhar project, wherein we want to rely on ourselves. So this indigenization, they said at least 75% of the content that should come from Indian things. Okay, we're not going to import stuffs from others, otherwise we'll be dependent on others. Let's say some problem happened with this ship right now suddenly, and we had taken most of the parts from Russia. What happens? Suddenly we need this ship, we have to contact Russia. Please help us with this part, we need to repair our ship. We're dependent, am I right? Or let's say we have taken from America and suddenly we are fighting with America. They say, we'll not provide you any parts. When you are dependent, this problem will always be there. So it's better you indigenize, you make on your own. Okay, good thing. Now we have this INS Udaygiri and INS, which one? Himgiri. Okay, basic things you can read about them. For example, what is their size, length, speed. I don't think they will ask about these minor details. They don't focus on minor details. Mostly UPSC focuses on the major stuff. Okay, so for the reading, basic reading, you can read it. What kind of weapons we can set in this particular ship, what kind of weapons we can set in, which can be used from there. For example, long range surface to air missiles. From surface to directly air, long range missile means the range is very long, let's say 200, 300, 400 kilometers. From here I launch, it can go till 400 kilometers. Okay, think about that. You can set BrahMos also. BrahMos is one of the most powerful missile that we have, and it can go for substantial distance also, and it's very famous because it has also got the abilities wherein people will not be able to detect it easily, right? So then Barak 8, lightweight torpedoes, this AK-630 guns, so many such weapons can be set in this Udaygiri. Similarly, even in the Himgiri, you will find similar stuffs. Okay. Now, what you are doing is, Indian Navy, when we are using Indian Navy, we have different command structures. So for example, we have Indian Navy operating in all these regions, am I right? So when we are operating, now this is the map of India if you have not understood. So I'm talking about this entire part. This is the oceanic part which we see where Indian Navy has to operate. So I'm saying there is something called this Western Command and there is something called Eastern Command. Okay, and we developed these 2 frigates. One we are going to give to Western Command, one we are going to give to Eastern Command. For example, this INS Udaygiri, it is for the Eastern Naval Command. INS Himgiri, we are giving to Western Naval Command. So we are ensuring that both of our sides are powerful. Okay, it's not like only our Western Command is very powerful, Eastern is little weak, right? We are ensuring similar kind of power structure on both sides. Now here comes one important thing. India is also focusing on something called as blue water capability. Now there is a term that we use called as blue water navy. Ever heard this term? No, while reading history, you will certainly come to this word called Blue Water Navy. What is it? Let's say your army is operating. So your army is operating from the land. So they're always connected with the land of India, right? But Navy has to operate from waters. Most of the navies, they operate in waters, but they have to come to this coastal area. Their main office is at coastal area, or let's say they need some weapons, they need some fuel, they have to come and take things from this coastal area. So what happens is they can provide security to the nearby areas only. This is the land of India, I'm saying. This is the coastal land, this is the water. I'm saying they can provide security in this part, this entire part. But let's say you have to carry out some operation over here at a very far distance in ocean, Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean. Pacific is too far for us. But let's say we are concerned about, let's say some of our ships go there and we are concerned about those ships. It can happen. So when you're not dependent on this coastal area, you develop the capability of your navy in such a way that you can operate in the oceans on your own. You have some structures made in such a way you don't need to come to coastal area every time. You can manage everything on your own in the blue waters. Then we say you have got blue water navy or blue water capability. Okay? So this is something India is trying to build. When you have blue water capability, maybe we are putting our BrahMos and such great missiles even in Indian Ocean, even in Pacific Oceans. That shows our strength. Let's say America is having their ships throughout the world, all the oceans. They control, they will have stronger control over all the regions. Am I right? So this is something we are working on right now. Okay? Then indigenization, we already talked about. Design part, because we talked about stealth technology and all, and the design part is little advanced as compared to other frigates. So this is something we are doing better. Then we provide all the maritime security. Now we said they are capable of attacking any kind of stuff. Surface to surface attack, surface to air attack, and the submarine attack, all kinds of attack. So what you do is, when it comes to maritime when you say, we're talking about the oceans part or the water part. So there you provide complete security through these kinds of frigates. Okay, they become important for that. And right now, considering the geopolitical aspect, so in geopolitics, what's happening is we see conflict between US and China, between China and India. There is a continuous conflict that we are observing. Now, we know that if such conflicts are continuing, they are going to continue. They have their interest, we have our interest. So the conflicts are going to happen for sure. So there is something called sea lanes of communication. See, in entire world, trade happens. Trade is very important. We need petrol, diesel, we need crude oil. We don't have crude oil. We go and buy from, let's say, Russia, we buy from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, etc. Right? Now to buy, you have to go there, you have to send your ships, you have to buy, you have to bring that over here. If let's say suddenly, if that area is controlled by someone and said that no ship will go from this area, that will be a problematic scenario. There are some regions in the world which we call as the maritime routes. For example, there is something called Strait of Hormuz, Strait of Malacca, Bab al-Mandab. These are some regions. If someone takes control of these regions, that will be a very problematic scenario for India or for many countries. So these are like, for example, let's say this is India, Pakistan, Iran, etc. And there is this Middle Eastern part. So I'm saying when you're going through this, we're talking about this particular region. If someone takes control of this region and not allow anyone to go, then it's problematic. Yes? So those areas are called as sea lanes of communication. The major maritime routes used for global trade, energy, etc. Okay? Now this is something even India is focusing on so that we can secure these lines. When we have such frigates, when we have such capabilities of Indian Navy, we can ensure someone is taking control, we will send our ships also. We will not let anyone take control of it so that we can ensure that our trade continues. Okay, suddenly if crude oil supply doesn't come to India, you will see dangerous problems happening in India. Suddenly no crude oil is coming, so no petrol, no diesel. Yes, suddenly petrol prices will be very high. When petrol price will be very high, whatever is coming to you, you're buying anything, even your vegetables, their cost will also increase. Because someone from farm, they are bringing over here to bring, they also need some money. That petrol cost increases, the product prices increases. Suddenly there will be high inflation in the country. Okay, so that's very problematic. So that's why we try to ensure all these things. Clear? All this importance of all these things? Yes, basic clear? Okay. Now, next news. Next news is regarding something called as Salva Judum case. Any idea what is Salva Judum? No idea. Any idea about Naxalism? What is Naxalism? Please tell me. And what do Naxals really want? Just tell me, what do they want? Why are they doing all these things? You said you know Naxals, huh? Was there Naxalism in Andhra or Telangana? Yes? Is it still there? Yes. Okay. So tell me then. They are in your area, so you must be knowing. What's their problem? Yes, something they must be having, na? Why they are taking arms and weapons and killing people? They don't like government. So change the government, go for elections. Simple. We also don't like government. Huh? Private sector interference they don't like. Okay. You're talking about communism? They want communism? Or a form of communism which is called as Maoism, which is there in China. In China you find something called as a form of communism, or something we call as left wing. There's something right wing, there's something left wing. BJP belongs to right wing party. There are some left wing parties like communist parties. Okay, and the extreme form of left is there in the form of Naxalism. So you're right, they don't like government. Rather than government, the word is state. They don't like the state itself. They don't like the authority that is existing. They want to change it. They want to go for that revolution, which we talk about like Marxist revolution. Similar kind of revolution they want, change the entire structure. And also they don't like the private sector, obviously. So they are going for this Naxalism that we observe. They have their plan, they have their ideology that they are propagating. Now to deal with Naxal problem, because it is a problem throughout India. It's not like only few states, and you will certainly observe this Naxalism problem emerges in the area where there is lack of development. Now where there will be lack of development? Which areas will have lack of development or less development? Tribal areas. But there are tribals living in almost entire India, if I say. Huh? Scheduled areas, okay. But why? If an area is tribal area, government says that will not develop that area. Which areas? Agency. What's that agency area? Okay, you have agency areas. Okay, maybe you might have named it as agency areas. You'll observe one thing. Let's say this is one state, or if we can take the example. Let's say this is state 1. Let's say this is Maharashtra. Okay? Let's say this is your Telangana. Let's say this is your Andhra Pradesh. Let's say, where is this? Chhattisgarh is something over here, and the Odisha over here. Let's assume. Okay. Now see this thing, when Maharashtra government is coming up with some policies, they will try to implement throughout Maharashtra. Telangana government, they will also try to do. Andhra government, they will do. Chhattisgarh government, they will also do. Okay. What happens is, if you look at these regions, state 1, state 2, state 3, their area where the border of these 3 states are there. Now these are the regions, most of the times we have observed these border regions. There the development is not much. Okay, development is not much. Now this could be such area. Second, as you said, tribal area or the region where there is forest, or where development is not reaching because maybe there are not much representatives from that area who have much political power. Okay, let's say the chief minister is not coming from this area. He represents, let's say, this part of Maharashtra or this part of Telangana. Okay, now what happens is, for many years, when some areas do not see much development, what was the condition 70 years back? It's the same condition. There's no basic electricity, no basic road, basic things are still not reaching, no water supply, nothing. Do you expect people to be very happy about government? No. Whether it is central government or state government, will they be happy? No, they are not at all happy. They don't like it. But will they go against government saying that we are killing everyone? No, but they'll be unhappy. Now comes someone or some people who spread some ideology that, see, because of this government your condition is so pathetic, so we will go for something else. We will go and we'll bring some new rule in which we will make you free, we will bring you all the development and everything, so people will support them. So that's how someone comes into power. So here we have Naxals or this Naxalism coming into picture. They are propagating left-wing ideology, but in extreme form, wherein they even suggest violence. If needed, go for violence. Okay, and their idea is to destroy this state system. They don't want to stay with the state system. Okay, now the point is, here when you look at this idea, that's the reason we see Naxalism spreading throughout India. It is said that there is a place, I think in Nepal, whether it is Kathmandu or something, or some place in Nepal, from that place till the location of Tirupati, they say there is a red corridor. We call it red corridor. In this entire region, we see Naxalism spreading. Okay, even in some parts of, let's say, where Karnataka and this Kerala, they have the border. Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. There also it is emerging. We have seen this happening. Especially in case of Andhra Pradesh, it was on a very high scale. Okay, I think one of the chief minister, his caravan was also attacked when he was going. Chandrababu Naidu, very nice. So the same person is now in power. Nice. So when this attack was made, then Andhra Pradesh government became very serious. Okay, and they took very strict actions to deal with this Naxal problem. Okay, but it's not a problem which is present only in one or the other state. Many states are suffering from this problem. So some states created some special police officers. Okay, they trained them and sent them in that area as if they are normal people. Not in uniform, I'm saying. Go there and then ensure that you bring Naxalites somewhere and we'll kill all of them. So some planning, some things were being done. So there's this Cobra force. There are few other forces which were made in different states. Okay, now come to the point. Now in case of Chhattisgarh, see, Andhra is dealing, Maharashtra dealing, Chhattisgarh. Nearby states all are dealing with this problem. And it's the same region. You see, Maharashtra's corner, Gadchiroli district, very famous. Chhattisgarh, Bastar district. And the same area now connected to Telangana. Getting the point? So all these are connected, I'm saying. Now, Chhattisgarh government in 2005, they came up with a new idea that we will have something called Salwa Judum. What is this Salwa Judum? The meaning in Gondi language is peace march. What it simply means is they thought from these people who are living in this Naxalite area, but normal people, some youngsters of 16, 18 years of age, they said, we are recruiting you, please come. Now we are making you special police officers. 18 years person, they are saying, you're special officers. And they started giving them guns and weapons and said, go, live in your area, wherever you find a Naxal, kill him. Okay, just gave some basic training and just go. Normally it is expected by the state that violence is something only state will do. Normal civilians will never carry weapons. But here in this case, Chhattisgarh government gave weapons in the hands of civilians, calling them special officers to deal with this problem of Naxalism. Because the point is, you can't understand who is a Naxal. Let's say we're living in a village and suddenly after a few days I come to know she was Naxalite. I don't know. Nobody knows. There's no uniform or something. They're the normal people, but they are having in their mind this idea of Naxalism. How will you know? Right? So they created this Salva Judum units. So those tribal people living in the same area, they were recruited by the Chhattisgarh state government. Okay, so this was being carried out. After that, some people reached out to Supreme Court. So this is not right. So some people like Ramchandra Guha, Nandini Sundar, these are people who were talking about human rights. They went to Supreme Court saying that, so this is violation of Article 14, Article 21. Article 14, not everyone is supposed, we are not supposed to carry weapons. How can you give some people weapons? Yes, equality before law. This is not equality. Second, Article 21, right to life. By giving them weapons, you are asking them, go and kill people. You are taking their life for granted. You are taking their life also for granted. You are putting them in risk, right? So all this is not good. And most important thing, as I said, it is the state who is supposed to carry out these responsibilities. State has to have some military, paramilitary, police. It's their job to carry out such operations. It is not the job of normal citizen to carry out such operations. Okay, so all these things happened. When they asked the government's response was, see, it's not like we have made it mandatory. We just said anyone who wants to join this force, they can join. We have done this on voluntary basis. Then we are also paying them, so it's a kind of job for them. Okay, and we are dealing with this problem of Naxalism, so we have good intent. That's what government was saying. Okay, their intent is okay. We are not saying it's wrong. They wanted to deal with this problem. But the way they are dealing it, that was something which was not acceptable. So at the end, what we see in the year 2011, Supreme Court bench, which was headed by Justice B. Sudarshan Reddy. Okay, he was heading this particular case. They gave a judgment in which they said this Salva Judum is unconstitutional. So they clearly gave the direction to the Chhattisgarh government, you can't use this. Clear? Whether it's central government or state government, they are clear, this kind of a body, if you are creating, this is not allowed, it's unconstitutional. Now this happened, now you have to completely disband this kind of Salva Judum thing. Now why we are reading about this particular thing right now? Reason being, this person, Justice B. Sudarshan Reddy, right now the opposition parties are naming this person for the vice presidential election. Now vice president elections are going to take place. So BJP will come up with their candidate, other parties will come up with their candidate, right? And when candidates are there, they'll keep on blaming one other. So this is the person from opposition party. Okay. Now what is happening? Recently it is in news because the Union Home Minister Amit Shah, he made a remark, a comment. He said that if this person, Justice B. Sudarshan Reddy, in 2011 he gave this judgment, Salva Judum. If he would not have given this judgment, we would have sorted out this problem of Naxalism in 2020 itself. Now there are two meanings of this. One is, he's saying that Salva Judum was a good concept. Amit Shah likes that concept. Give the weapon, kill them, end the thing. End result matters. Right? That's his thought. But second, we see the political intent in this. Right? Wherein they're just, because the opposition party brought that member, so they are just blaming them. Okay? But when you make any comments against anyone, any judge, for the judgment that he has given, that brings conflict between the executive and judiciary. Judiciary always says one thing, keep us out of politics, don't bring us in the politics. And the independence is very important. If people start criticizing the judgment or the way judgment is given, all these things, then the independence of judiciary is not there. Okay? So that's why we see this thing coming into picture. Little political conflict, nothing much, but this Salva Judum movement is something you should know. Why? GS3, Naxalism is your topic, left-wing extremism, that's your topic, where you should know about Naxalism. And if you see the trend, almost every year they ask about Naxalism in the mains. 10 marker or 15 marker question, they keep on asking. Okay, so you should know about this part for sure. Clear? Any doubt with this? No? Okay. Now next, there's a report from one of our ministries, Ministry of Road, Transport and Highways, headed by Nitin Gadkari. Yes? So they brought a report about road road transport and what is happening on roads, etc. If I ask you, what is a major problem or major issue? Terrorism or road accident? How many support terrorism? Is terrorism not a serious issue? It's a world problem. So how many with terrorism is a bigger problem to deal with? Two people. How many think road accident is a bigger issue than terrorism? Comparatively, I'm asking. Comparatively, I'm saying. I'm not saying just road accident. As compared to terrorism, road accident is a bigger issue. How many feel? One person? Two persons? Half? Okay. Why?
Terrorists we can kill, but road accidents we can't stop. We can't say the public to...
But still, I'm talking about the problem. How do you decide if something is a big problem or a small problem? What is your parameter to decide? Loss of lives, very good. So how many people die in a year by terrorism? Just give me like opinion based, like in last 1 year, how many people do you think must have died? We saw one incident, Pahalgam. Apart from that, let's say 1 or 2 incidents happened. Still, rough figure if you have to give me. How many people must have died? Rough? 1,000, 2,000? Huh? That's fine. I'm saying by terrorism, how many people must have died in India? Make any rough figure. 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. 5,000 max, not more than that. Now let's see how many die by road accident. To get the data correct. So total road accidents, 4,80,000 in 2023. This is the official government data. Sometimes everything is not taken by government. Right? Government data is like they have got the information. Some accidents we don't even know. Official data. Okay? How many died now? Make estimate on your own now. Okay? Now which problem is a major problem? By your parameter, not my parameter. So still terrorism. Both are major problems. But if you ask me on this parameter, how many people die? People die more by road accident than people die by terrorism. So it's about the politics. Because politics shows you that terrorism is a big problem. It's a big problem. I'm not saying it's a small problem. But if you compare these two, road accident is a major problem. More people are dying. 10 times people are dying because of road accident. So it's a major problem. This should be your priority to deal. Out of these two, this should be your priority, na? Right? Now, they've given the data just to show what all is happening in India. So you just need to observe what all is happening, where exactly happening, just observation. You don't need to remember much things. So for example, they're saying young adults in the age group of 18 to 45, those people who are victims of accidents, 66%, more than 60% of the people belong to this young age group. Okay, think about it, because this is the population which is very important for us, for our economic development or whatever you see. Okay, then highest accidents taking place. Number 1, Tamil Nadu. Number 2, Madhya Pradesh. So this is a clear indication. Tamil Nadu and Madhya Pradesh should think about what's happening in their state. What's the problem with their roads? Highest fatalities. Fatalities means people dying. It's not necessary accident happened means people must have died. So if you see maximum people dying. So Uttar Pradesh is at number 1. Number 2 again Tamil Nadu. Okay. Now, interesting thing, there are some roads which we call as highways, and rest of the roads are the normal roads that we use. Out of all the road network, total roads we have, only 5% are highways. 95% are normal roads. But if you see the data of accidents, more than 50% accidents happen only on highways. Interesting. I'm saying out of all the roads, only 5% are highways, and maximum accidents are happening on highways. Okay? So just look at this. Don't worry about anything, just look. Okay, this is happening. Then two-wheeler riders, 45% accidents. Means half of the people getting into accident because of bikers. Okay? Nice. Now to see what can be the causes, if we have to just see what could be the major reasons behind all these accidents, then some conclusion we can draw. For example, some human error. Let's say people are not following the traffic rule. Suddenly there is a red signal, still someone goes, someone suddenly comes and there's an accident. These are basic things we see. Some people, they are driving without license, those very youngsters, 14, 15 age, you people must be having some people like this without license. Okay, not using helmet, seat belts. Seat belt is one of the reasons why many people die due to car accident. Nobody in India is serious about seat belt. Not even helmet, but still helmet government, this police officers sometimes check. So people are concerned. Seat belt, when there is a police officer, we wear. The moment nobody is there, we are chill. Okay, so you people need to understand why these things are there. Unless people know, for example, helmet, why helmet is needed? Because in your entire body, the most sensitive part is your brain. In the accident, if anything is gone, you can still survive. One hand is gone, leg is gone, heart is also okay. But everything is operating from mind. Heart, okay, something has gone like this. No, normal accident, this will not happen. Na? Someone is not taking knife and putting in your heart. So normally which will be affected is this external part. In that I'm saying this head is the most sensitive. If any small damage to the head or this brain part happens, you die. On the spot you die. Rest of the things you can manage somehow in the hospital. That's why this helmet is there. Okay, that at least in the worst case, this is saved. Okay, but people don't know. Because of this, many people die. Then sometimes it's because of the roads. The road design is faulty because we have contractors, we have so much corruption, they will use worst kind of material, they'll build anyway. So that's a problem, road design is a problem, or there are those potholes because of which we see problems. Sometimes it's weather also. Right now we see the rainfall and all because of weather or this landslides taking place. Those could be some reasons. And if we see vehicular specific, then some vehicles are the old vehicles. And because of them also, few times we see accidents taking place. The bike engine is not working properly, something is not working properly, maybe because of that. But that's a minor reason. Major reasons are these two. This is something for citizens to learn. This is something the government to learn. Also, this is also for government to implement the policies. But this is something. So whenever such reports come, we try to get these insights so that now government can come up with new policies, new decisions. Okay, that's the reason we come up with such reports. Clear? Now, the core thing, 3 things we can remember. This young adult who are most affected. Second, the highways, they are problematic. And third is the two-wheelers. They are most affected. So that is something you can think about. What can we do about it? Clear? That was the report. Now next. ISRO completes first integrated airdrop test for Gaganyaan. So what is this Gaganyaan mission? I'm sure you people have heard about it. Crewed mission. So what is crewed mission? To go to space. So did we never go to space? Very good, make them stay 3 days. So we'll send human beings from India to the space. Did we ever send someone to the space? Huh? Not from India, or Indian, any Indian? Who was that guy? Subhanshu. Oh, good. This Subhanshu, what is his name? That was the recent news. Earlier there was someone called, I think, Rakesh Sharma or something. Am I right? But that person was sent through USSR. This person, Subhanshu, he has also gone from some other agency, I think American agency. NASA or I don't know, SpaceX I think. Okay, whatever. The point is they did not go from India. ISRO did not send them. Okay, that's the core point. Our plan is we want to send our astronauts using our rockets to the space. Send them in space, they will live there for 2-3 days and then they will come back. Okay, we have ISRO, but till now we were not able to carry out such a mission. It's a technologically advanced mission, and in the entire world only 3 countries have shown this capability. that they can carry out such mission. Which 3 countries? America, Russia, China. Very good. So now 4th will be India. Okay, you can see the competition in the space that is happening. Now, if you see the Gaganyaan mission, government said that we are sending 3 people. So they have named 4 people. Why 4 people if they have to send 3 people? 1 in reserve. Even in cricket we put some people in reserve. So similarly, out of 4, 3 will go. Okay, yes. Now, we use this term called first crewed mission. So here, crew means the members, the people, the astronauts whom you are going to send. You will not directly send this rocket wherein you have put 3 people. This will not happen directly. First, you will send similar mission without human beings. Okay, for experiments. If something goes wrong, okay, human beings are saved. So this is called unmanned test missions. So initially you will do few tests like this. Once you feel that everything is safe, now we can carry out this mission, then you will go for this crewed mission. Okay, so it is expected that maybe by the 2027, January, February, March or something, they are planning to send it. Okay, now it's a good mission. Now let's see the technological part. Little technical, and if you don't know the science and tech, then again it seems very technical, but still we'll just understand the basic thing. So the rocket through which you send, that rocket is called as the launch vehicle through which you are launching. Okay, so this launch vehicle, it works in a manner wherein this rocket is divided into different parts. This is number 1, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, likewise. Every part is like a different engine altogether. So it's a separate engine, it has its own fuel, like you have petrol, it's a fuel, some other fuel, not petrol exactly, and some oxidizers. So for petrol to burn, you need oxygen or something. Similarly, they need something. Everything is present over here in this. Similarly separate over here, similarly separate over here. All 3 engines work separately. What happens normally is, first we burn this, the fuel over here in this first stage. It burns and then it gives a thrust to this rocket, so it will start moving. It reaches to some location, the fuel is completely exhausted. Now this part becomes separate from this entire rocket and it falls on the earth. Okay? Now only this much part will move forward. Clear? Now this engine gets activated, its fuel and oxidizer will be used, and this will continue. Once it is done, this will also fall back and only this will go ahead. Clear? That's how these launch vehicles and all these rockets work. Clear? So somewhere maybe over here we will put our astronauts. They will go there. Okay? Now these launch vehicles are also of different kinds. Some are smaller, some are bigger. Let's say you want to go to a very long distance. So the smaller one might not be able to do that. We need different kinds of fuels. There's something called solid fuel, liquid fuel, cryogenic fuel. Different engines are needed for that. Solid fuel means it will burn very fast. Liquid, little slower. You can stop, let's say you started burning something, you can stop it also in the liquid. In solid it's not possible. So different things are there. That's a very technical stuff. Okay? In all these launch vehicles, as far as India has, every country has different kinds. The India has many launch vehicles. Out of that, our best one is this GSLV Mk3. There's something called PSLV, something called GSLV. Okay, you'll study that later on. Right now, just understand this is the largest and biggest one that we have. Okay, this is also termed as LVM3. Okay, it's the same name. People also call it this Bahubali rocket because it's the biggest one that we have or the strongest one that we have. So this is something we are going to use in case of this Gaganyaan mission. Okay, it will also have 3 stages. One stage with solid fuel, solid engine we are saying. One having liquid fuel. Third is called cryogenic. Cryogenic means something that can operate at very low temperature. You can imagine 0-degree temperature, how it feels. Can you imagine? But can you imagine minus 400 degrees Celsius? That's difficult to imagine, but that kind of temperature you can get in the space. Okay? Now just imagine if I have petrol over here and I take it to a location where the temperature is very low, 0 degree. Will you have the same petrol? Or it can get frozen? Yes. Or look at minus 400, 300 degrees Celsius. Now imagine the condition. So our normal fuels we can't use in that temperature. They're useless at that point. Even normally people living in Ladakh, those military men, if you have ever seen the videos, let's say they have to make some food, the egg they have. So they're like egg, they're taking something like egg, no egg. It has become a stone. Okay. So that's the thing, even with fuels, you need to understand, even in case of fuels, that's the problem. So they have different kinds of fuels to use, and that engine is called cryogenic engine, which can operate at such a very low temperature. Okay. So this includes the same thing. Fine. Now, two things which are part of this module, one is called crew module and one is called service module. Crew module means there will be some place or some part in which the crew can stay. These astronauts can stay. For them, they need environment which is very similar to the environment in Earth. So the gravity normalized, oxygen, there will not be any oxygen, there will not be any air also. So at least you have to have that environment. Even the pressure, if you have ever heard about it, like if you go for a mountain, let's say you're going to Mount Everest or something, the pressure over there is very different from the pressure we have over here. Okay. So if you're going to space, that will again be very different. So this crew model is something we call habitable environment, just like Earth, that we create over there. But rest of the stuff, that all includes something called service module, that just provides service. Let's say the temperature is very different in the space, so they will try to maintain temperature, change pressure. They have some supply of power, electricity. You need electricity over there. Here you are getting from government. Who will provide there? You need something to generate electricity also, or store it for some time. So such two different modules will be there in this Gaganyaan mission. Clear? Any doubt with this? No? Now, what is the recent news if we go back? ISRO completes first integrated air-drop test for Gaganyaan. So if we see, when we are going for this mission, we have to carry out some tests before we go for the final mission. So some tests, like if in case in emergency something goes wrong, then you should have something to, at least these people should be saved. For that you need something. So you go for some tests. For example, this air drop test. So using some parachute, they will be dropped somewhere. That is one test. Then test vehicle mission. So suddenly if you have to stop the mission, you had a plan to stay there for 3 days, suddenly on the first day you felt there's some problem, you have to stop the mission. So something for that. There's something called pad abort mission, there's something called water survival test. So you have to bring those people over here on the water, let's say in case they have to bring through parachutes and they have to be dropped in oceans. So somehow that has to be tested already. So all these missions are there. You don't need to know so much in detail, that's very technical. But the point is, all these missions, we are saying right now ISRO has done this one, integrated air drop test. Right? This one is just conducted. So these 3 will be conducted. After that, we will send the final mission. So that's why it's taking so much time. Okay? So next year, we might expect the news. And for sure, next year mains, they will ask question on Gaganyaan. Okay? If the mission works out. Clear? Any doubt? No? Now, the last article for the day, that is on DRDO. DRDO successfully tests multi-layered air defense system. Can anyone tell me what is air defense system? What? Drones? Drones are not air defense system. Very good. If anything is coming, we need to stop it before it attacks you. That's air defense. Yes, that's air defense. Let's say Pakistan is sending drones. They can send drones, smaller drones, or they can send large aircraft also, or they can send a missile, like we have BrahMos, they have some missiles, they can send missiles also. Anything they send, Let's say we detect it already that this missile is coming and this is now going to hit Hyderabad on the way. Now you detected, and now you have another missile over here. We send a missile, this missile attacks here. Done. Before it attacks, you attack them. At least you defended. You're not attacking the other side, but at least you defended. Got it? That's the work of air defense system. The S-400 that we bought from Russia, that is one example of how air defense can be brought in. But it's an entire system. It's not like there is just one weapon that you're using. It's a system. So if drone is coming, maybe you should have some other system to attack drones. Something like what we use is, we even use this laser beam. What is laser? What we do in laser is, light is concentrated. When you concentrate light in one beam, it becomes very powerful. So if I put a laser beam on you, maybe your hand will burn. Okay. So what you do is, let's say there's an aircraft coming, and I have some laser beam equipment over here. I'll just send a laser. So this laser will go like this, and continuously it will push energy to this aircraft. So this aircraft will burn or get destroyed. This is one method I'm telling you. S-400, they're sending some missile. So you will have different systems. Some sending missiles, some sending some bombs, some sending this laser. All these things combined is called the entire system, which we call as integrated air defense weapon system. Okay? Clear with this? Yes? So this includes, right now if you see our integrated air defense system, it includes so many things. Like this is quick reaction surface to air missile, very short range air defense system. Now this is like, there will be some machine or let's say some vehicle. From vehicle you can send one kind of missile or bomb. This is something you can keep in hand. Some military men, if you have seen any videos or something, so they'll keep something in the hand like this, and from here one bomb will go. Okay? So this is this very short range air defense system. So on a short range you can attack someone through this. For long range you have something else. This is directed energy weapon, which I said about the laser one. It is directed energy weapon. Energy is directed. A strong energy in the form of light, which is concentrated. This one is here. And for all things to operate rightly, you have one command center at one location from where everything will be operated. So this is something we have, centralized command and control center. One center from which they will take care of everything. They'll give advice. You attack from there, you attack from there. They'll control everything. Okay? So this entire structure is made, that's what we call integrated air defense system. This is something DRDO has successfully tested. Clear? Any doubt? No? So that's all for now. Okay then, we'll meet next time. Thank you.